President. Okay, item 034816. This is a communications from the Executive Director of the Redevelopment Authority for permission to accept the Knowles Nelson grant of $470,750 from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources for the purpose of property acquisition for the Machinery Road portion of the Root River Promenade. Recommendation from the Finance and Personnel Committee is that the Common Council approve and accept the grant.
Okay, thank you. If you care to speak on this item, please use your buttons, and because of the large number of items we seem to be pulling out here, I will limit you to 2 times unless the council chooses to suspend that rule. Alderman Widener.
Thank you. I have a question for the city administrator in regards to the allocation of this grant money. And I guess I should preface my question with a question to the city attorney, because most of what has been discussed regarding both this Knowles Nelson grant and the accompanying extension on the agreement with FDP LLC, I'm not really sure what questions I can ask or what comments I can make because so much was discussed in closed session.
Mr. City Administrator, please.
I thought you had a question for the city attorney.
I do. Or I don't know which one would care to answer the question, but like I said, because so much was discussed outside of the public view, I don't know what I can ask.
Can you specifically restate your question for the city attorney, please?
Well, my question is, can I ask any questions related to what was discussed in closed session in regards to the Knowles Nelson grant?
Well, you certainly can ask questions. Anything that was discussed specifically in closed session was in closed session for a reason. So I guess it depends on what it is you want to ask.
Okay. I would like the city administrator to tell us exactly how this Knowles Nelson grant will be used.
Sure. The Department of Natural Resources Knowles Nelson Stewardship Grant is a process through which municipalities acquire public lands. This is a grant that we will receive in order to acquire the land along the river between Marquette Street and 4th Street. It's in the area that is commonly known today as the Machinery Road property. So the city will get a grant once it completes acquisition of that. We reapply, it's a reimbursement grant. So the city will acquire the property from the developer and then we'll be reimbursed for the cost of that through the DNR. That's what the Knowles Nelson Stewardship Grant is all about.
So in discussions, we said that the money that was to be paid to the developer would be held in escrow. But
That's correct.
I'm not sure how that can happen. If we are purchasing land from the developer, how we can hold the dollars that we pay him for that land in escrow that he cannot access.
That will be covered in the development agreement. That would be an appropriate question for us to answer in the item that's coming up later.
Okay.
In this particular case, we just want permission to be able to go to the DNR and say, if we complete the transaction, which I anticipate we will, and we acquire the property, will you reimburse us? They have said yes. I need the council's permission to accept that grant.
Okay.
So that's what, this one is limited in scope for what we talked about in closed session. The other one is more detailed.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. The item before you is item 0348-16, permission to accept a Knowles Nelson grant of $470,750. Are we ready for the vote? Okay, please vote electronically. Okay, the motion has carried. Thank you very much. The next item, bottom